I was at the liquor store with my wife, and we were looking for ingredients for an upcoming episode, and I said, oh, look, the Christmas beers are out. I'm not much for beer, but I do like the Christmas beers that come out every year. And I went to buy one, and my wife said, Greg, why don't you do a review of all the Christmas beers? I think that would do well. So I'm reviewing all the Christmas beers. You know, she's pretty smart. She's got some good ideas. When she told me to go drink a bunch of beer, I said, I love my wife. What a genius. Let's get right into it, and we'll start with the first one within reach. And this is Heavy Seas Beer, which is fearless, bold, and independent. It is their Winter Storm Category 5 Ale. I don't know what that is, but it sounds yummy. Let's see how she goes there, boys. Doing my big ugly pour so we can froth her out. That's like a thing. I have had some beer friends of mine say, oh, you're not supposed to do the fraternity sneak down the side. You're supposed to dump it, let that head froth out, let it do its thing. That's a good beer. It doesn't strike me as particularly Christmassy. That's not what I'm looking for in a Christmas ale. I don't mind it. It's a little bit hoppy, warm and nutty, malty. What is that? There is like a little fruity note in there. What was that? In a small sip, in a tiny sip. Plums, maybe. Or cherry. Something in that range. Right at the front. If you just take a tiny sip and it doesn't get overpowered with the hops that come in on the late tasting notes, just a touch there. That's nice. I like that. Honestly, this just tastes like a good beer. If I was at a party and I grabbed this out of your fridge, I'd be like, oh, it's pretty good beer. I'll drink this. But it does have a long hop finish, which I'm not big on. I'm not big on Campari either. I do like Fernet. I'll tell you what. Whew, man, if you could bitter beer with Fernet, I wonder how Fernet take like the most mild ale ever and throw some Fernet in it. I can see my bottle of Fernet. Whichever one of these has got the least punch, we're gonna try a scotch of Fernet in there. I probably like that. I'm not personally blown away by this Category 5 ale, this Winter Storm. It's just not for me, but it's an okay ale. It's a bit brisk for my taste. This, by the way, is the preferred leverage for using anything for me with a handle. I like to keep my hand facing forward, and then you do like the handle pull. I love this. Much more ergonomic than something like this. You know, I'm not into that. I like, just whatever. Closing thoughts on this. If you like a hoppy-ish beer, but not a monster hops, not a super duper IPA, this is probably not bad for you. It's not that Christmassy to me. I mentioned that I loved Einstök, so I think we're just gonna go right over there. I can see it. This is their winter ale. And I think it might even be Einstök. It's Icelandic. B. Here we go. This is the Einstök winter ale. Oh man, what is that? That's what I'm talking about. It tastes like chestnuts. If you ever have real chestnuts, that's kind of what that tastes like. You know what, honestly, what it reminds me of is like a desweetened pecan pie. I love that. And it doesn't have any of the, I'm sure there are some hops or something in here to some degree, but it's spruce tips. It's a spruce tip thing. It's like traditional, if I'm not mistaken. Old times, they used different bittering agents for beers. Nowadays, mostly hops, but spruce tips was one at one time, if I'm not mistaken. I love that. The finish is not astringent. It's not super bitter. It's not really like, I feel like an attack. Okay, so for me, this is killing it. And it says right here, what is it? Ale brewed with spruce tips and smoked barley. I mean, it's like on its way to being Scotch. I guess it's a Scotch ale probably then, right? Oh, it gets better. It gets better. Oh, there's a distinct fruit note there now. Is that currant? I like this one a lot. God damn. For me, it's crazy how much I can love the right beer and just like, no, I hate all the wrong beers. I'm beer picky. I'm a beer snob. I have no rights to be a beer snob. I know so little about beer, but I know what I like. I very much like that. That's very, very lovely. We did the Winter Storm. Let's try Flying Fish's Winter Cru. I can tell you by the color, this is a much, lighter beer. Here we go. I don't know what kind of beer that is, but I don't hate that at all. It doesn't strike me as being very Christmassy. They do call it the Winter Cru. I like this. This reminds me of like a Kolsch or something like that, of like a crisp lager. I'm gonna check the bottle and tell you if I'm right or wrong, because I genuinely do not know what it is. But I like this quite a bit. It's the opposite as a beer. I don't like it as a Christmas beer. It doesn't give me what I'm looking for in a Christmas beer, and a winter beer, and a winter ale. But just as a beer, I like it. Brighter notes, like orange peel, lemon maybe. Absolutely getting pears. No real mega hops, you know, still way shy of the Category 5 Winter Storm. No, nice finish, nice. Easily approachable, mild, and bright, fresh. What is this? A Belgian-style ale brewed with spice. I wonder what kind of cinnamon and nutmeg? I'm having a hard time finding this. Maybe now that you say cinnamon, I could see, maybe I was reading the pear as cinnamon. You know, it sounds stupid, but like you strip the sugar out of something and it tastes wildly different. And so when people like describe, oh, I taste stone fruits in this wine, they don't mean like the experience of picking up a cherry and eating it or picking up a peach and eating it. They're talking about what that would be like if it didn't have sweetness in it. But I don't get the nutmeg necessarily. I don't know about spiced, but I would say lightly fruity and not overly hopped. There's a note there that some beer person would be able to identify that reminds me of carpet store, just lightly at the front. Someone in the comments is going to tell me, oh, the carpet store note, that's such and such yeast doing blanky blue. But I don't hate it. It's here and gone. It's very brief. It's not the end of the night if you have one of these. It's not like you're putting your feet up by the fire and calling it a nightcap, which is kind of what I'm looking for in my Christmas beers. But I don't hate this one. It's a good beer. I like this beer. But yeah. All right, let's move it right along. We're going to try Southern Tier Double Xmas. They loudly proclaim it to be 8%, which is generally, to me, I like the stronger beers. It just kind of like the kinds of beers that I like happen to be stronger. They tend to have more of the flavors I'm looking for. And here we go. Now that is spiced. That tastes like Christmas. Wow. They did not hold back. Cinnamon, ginger, for sure. Whoa. Maybe that's too much like Christmas. That tastes a little bit like, you know, walking around in the shop at a Cracker Barrel around Christmas time, like the smell of it or something. I don't mind it. It's like drinking banana bread or fruit cake or something. Wow. It's very heavily modified as far as I'm concerned for beer standards. Spiced double ale. Ale brewed with orange peels, ginger root, cardamom, yeah, sure, cinnamon, fig paste, and cloves. I'm not getting a ton of clove, but you know, it's better to underdo clove than overdo it, so I'm kind of glad to hear that. Definitely getting big ginger, cinnamon, and now that you mention it, cardamom for sure. Fig paste? I don't know. Fig is not the loudest flavor note. I'm not picking up fig, but yeah, put it in there. It's on theme. Absolutely. I'm into this one, but it's not my favorite. I just think they full marks for Christmas. Low enough hops that I'm not registering it as hoppy at all, but I like it, and I like that it's 8%. You know, we've all got relatives that we need to avoid. All right, let's get to the next one. Shiner Bock Holiday Cheer. Whoops. Here we go, Shiner Bock. It smells like sticking your nose in a peach, which once in a while. Yeah, it tastes like peaches. It doesn't even taste like beer. Full marks for nailing peaches. Just not Christmas. Bright, light, much lighter than the color would tell you, right? Because that peach flavor is way up here. It's like a bright flavor. It's not like a heavy flavor. It's freaking peachy. I mean, it is loudly peaches. I'm looking at the bottle now, and it says peaches and pecans. I'm not getting any pecans, okay? Yeah, this one's not hitting it for me. Let's take a brief interlude to try this whole Fernet Branca and beer thing. I'm gonna throw like a little splash into this glass. There we go, more than enough for our purposes. And now I'm gonna add to it this Einstök, and just see what happens. It's like mint and earthy notes. Too much. I mean, cut that Fernet back. Yeah, never mind, it's a bad idea. Never mind, I'm not gonna even try to defend it. It's a bad idea. I ruined that beer. Okay, moving right along. Let's do Evil Genius's Santa, I Know Him, Festive Saison. I do like a Saison. I love a Saison. All right, yeah, well, we blasted that fucker right into head heaven. Here we go. That is very, very Christmassy. Not many like traditional beer notes. So it's like a lighter beer. It's definitely got some hops in there. With like cloves, cinnamons, plural, maybe ginger. I don't think I love clove. There's like a note in there that I'm not loving. Be very careful how I phrase this, and then I'm just gonna say what I'm thinking, which is it's a little bit fish-like, but like fresh fish. And I like fish. It's a strange thing to find in a beer, but I think it's just the way I'm reading the clove. What do they say? Rose hips, chamomile, and black currants. No clove at all, but I'm definitely tasting them. Holiday Saison is brewed with rose hips, chamomile, and black currants. Oh, yeah. Chamomile. Sure, I'm tasting that. I don't drink a lot of chamomile tea, but now I'm having a memory of the last time I did. Baseline, not in love with this beer. It's not really doing what I want a Christmas beer to do, but I have to acknowledge that it does taste like a Christmas beer. So it's just not the kind of Christmas beer that I would want. Next, bring out the mug. What do we got? Okay, we'll grab you. The Victory Merry Monkey. So they do a Berry Monkey, which I think is their thing all the time. And this is their Merry Monkey. I like what a jovial fellow he looks like. You know, he looks like a real well-to-do, a chimp about town, a monkey on the move, a real player, one of the bright young things, a monkey who knows his business, minds his P's and Q's. Here we go. Victory Ales, Monkey Merry Monkey. Wow, I hate that. Ugh. God damn. That's a visceral reaction. I hate that. Jesus Christ. Really stays with you. Ugh. Okay, cranberry, orange, and cinnamon. That's right. Just, yeah, get that out of the way. Cranberry, orange, and cinnamon. There is something that comes in on this first right away that is just like cherry, like in the worst kind of way. I don't like it at all. Damn it. I'm getting a headache. I gotta go back in for more on this. Ah! Oh, shit, dude. I mean, I think they made an honest attempt. I give them credit for the effort they made here, but like, holy shit, no. I think it just went wrong. Something's out of balance. Belgian style ale with cranberry, orange peel, cinnamon, and nutmeg. 10%. It's overdone. The orange is so weirdly present, but like candied. I'm not into this. I do not like this. I don't want my beer to be like this. Maybe you're into it. It kind of tastes like Fruit Loop cereal in like the worst way possible. Kinda. I'm not gonna say it's 1-to-1, but it's like leaning in that direction instead of in the direction of like fresh fruit. Ixnay on the Ictory. No thank you. Not into that. Next beer, we're going with Tröegs Blizzard of Hops. I don't know how you pronounce that. Tröegs? Twaigs? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm keeping in mind this is super hoppy beer, even though I don't really love hoppy beers. If they call it Blizzard of Hops, it must be hoppy as hell. 6.5%. Here we go, Blizzard of Hops from Tröegs. That is hoppy. Wow. You know what though? Man, I don't hate that. It's hops up front and then lemon right away, and like clean, crisp lemon. I've only drank some foam right now, so I can't speak too much to its overall composition. But right now, I don't hate that. It's just not exactly what I would expect with a beer, particularly a Christmas beer. For me, being kind of a beer novice, but it's hard to hate it. It's just, it's dry. It's very dry, and I mean like astringent, like it's drying. I don't mean dry like low sweetness. I mean like dry. It wants to suck the moisture out of your mouth. That one would give me a migraine. That would definitely be a triggering beer for me. But it's fresh, it's bright, it's pungent, lemony, mainly lemony, and hoppy, without like a super long, super bitter hops aftertaste. I know there's different hops and there's different ways to use them. As far as hoppier beers go, this is the one that I've liked the most, I think, in my life. They're doing something right over there. Let's move it along to, what is this? This is Breckenridge Brewery Fine Ales and Lagers, their Christmas Ale. Now, they're not mincing words. The war on Christmas is not to be fought on the grounds of Breckenridge Brewery. They want you to know that it's okay to say Merry Christmas to them. Well, let's see how it is. Okay, hoppier side, but I don't hate that. I like that. Bright fruits, but in like a nice way. Subtle, well balanced, not overpowering. I kind of like this. It's one of those things where I'm going to try and be like a little objective about it. I don't know that I love this beer, but I kind of respect the way that it's presenting itself and the way it's made. It's not too much of anything so far. I do like that. It has just enough zhuzh to be called a Christmas beer. I'm getting a little bit of the figgy pudding vibes from this. Just a little bit. I don't know what you guys put in figgy pudding over there in the UK, but I'm going to assume that it's figs and currants and raisins and what are those, sultanas, orange peels and cranberries. And I'm getting a little bit of that, maybe a little bit of cinnamon. I like that. As far as a Christmas beer, I like that. Now, I will say it's also hoppy, and it's a little bit more... I don't love a hoppy beer for Christmas. It doesn't feel like Christmas to me if it's very hoppy. I want sort of a sleepy old ale. Ah, yes. Something that good King Wenceslas would drink around the fire. But yeah, I'm giving this one Christmassy marks. I like it. 7.1% Breckenridge Brewery. Malty, full-bodied winter warmer since 1993. Einstök and this so far are my finishers. I would finish this glass if not for the fact that I'm shooting this episode. I'd even finish what's left in the bottle. But we got to move it along. Let's get to the next beer. Well, I've been avoiding it because I know I'm going to love it. The Mad Elf Grand Cru. It's now the closest one to my hand. Let's pop her open. Look at that. Look at that color. It's red. Like cherry red or a framboise. Oh my word. 11%. Ha ha. Yes. Oh, that is bright. That is like a framboise. I wasn't expecting that. It is very up here. It is citrusy, tart, and cranberry for sure. Cherry and cranberry. Probably, I mean, cherry could be a lot of things. You could say it's currant. You could say it's whatever. But it definitely has that feeling even in my mouth where it like, that like, you know, cherries, I never thought about it before, but they do have like kind of a metallic thing that happens sometimes. Particularly when they're not fresh, but they're late in their ripening. They start to get real juicy and they hang out down here. It's a bit like drinking cherry juice, which is impressive because it's 11% of it is alcohol. It's a sweeter beer. It's not sugar, it's not candy, but it is sweeter, and it definitely presents as fresher fruit, fresh cherries. My word, that's a nice thing. They have yeast in golden letters. So it's 11%. They say I should serve it in a chalice, which I don't have, sorry. Color is burgundy, I would agree. Additions, Ballatin cherries, for sure. Demerara sugar, oh, it is sweetened. And wildflower honey, it's sweetened again. Wow, so it is sweet and cherries. Yeast is spicy Belgian. I don't know what that means, but if you're a beer person, you may know what that means. Personally, I think this could stand to be a bit maltier. I could like this a lot more with a little darkness in it. I don't think it's bad. I just think that it's not this year's best Christmas beer for Greg, but it's a very good one. Let's get on to the next beer, which is gonna be Everything Nice. Limited release, 9%. I don't know anything about this. I don't even know who the brewery is. Let's just find out. Oh, it's Ommegang. I saw it on the cap. Ommegang. I don't know how you pronounce that. Blonde color. Whoa. Whoa. One of these, and I forget which now, tasted like walking around in the Cracker Barrel shop. This is like walking around in the Yankee Candle shop. Let's see if we can get down to the meat of it and off the head. Okay, so very Christmassy, not very hoppy. I mean, it's a little bit like potpourri or some kind of Yankee Candle shop. Not for me, but I do have to give them credit for going all the way to Christmas Town. There are no brakes on this train. Holy shit. Brown sugar, probably. Brown sugar, cinnamon, some kind of fruit, and then whatever the fucking hell it is that's in potpourri. Orange peels, probably. Dried orange peels, that kind of thing. If only I had read more carefully. Strong blonde ale with seasonal spices and natural and artificial flavors. Ommegang. I don't know much about beer, But when I saw Ommegang, I thought that's a credible beer company. They're called Ommegang. That sounds for real. And they put artificial flavors right on the front there. 9% ABV. They won't tell me what else is in there. I'm going with no. 3 more beers to go. Let's get into it. This is Great Lakes Christmas Ale. 7.5% ABV. All right, there we go. Hops, definitely a note of cranberry and spice on the nose. Comes back kind of as like an aromatic flavor that rises back up after your first sip, because I got hops up front and maybe some of that, and then like the hops passed and then those flavors came back up and now it's more hops again. Not in love with this beer. It's just too bright. Christmas ale with spices and honey. Don't open till Christmas. Oh, whoever coined that phrase obviously has a taste. The Christmas ale's fresh. Honey, cinnamon, and ginger flavor. Sure, why not? It's okay. I don't know what the flavoring isn't hitting for me. It's just not doing it. It's not the Christmas I'm looking for. Next beer. Whew, I'm a lightweight. Let's grab Saranac's Season's Best. I gotta lie down after this one. Saranac, Season Best. Hops, much hops, very bitter. Not very bitter, but much hops. What is that? There is a Christmas note there. I think it's a hoppy-ish beer that they've sweetened and maybe added maybe something. I'm not sure. It could just be a little brown sugar, a little sweetness. Or honey. Yeah, what are they saying it is? Nut brown lager. Yeah, I'd buy that. It's not my favorite nut brown lager I've ever had, but I think it's a pretty good one. It's relatively unoffensive. It's a little bit hoppy for my tastes. It's okay. It's not reading as especially Christmassy, but it's also not bad. It's just not nailing that Christmas vibe. All right, one more to go. This is Bell's Brewery. I haven't had this in a couple years, but my memory of the Scotch ale was really good. I loved it, and I think that's a thing that I'm into, Scotch ale. So here we go, Bell's Scotch Ale Christmas Ale. Oh, shit. I do love that. It is mellow. It is slightly sweet. I would not say, I don't know if it's sweetened or not, but it is a sweeter, very approachable flavor. I think it's completely unhopped, but I could be wrong. It's nutty in a wonderful way. It reminds me of like the roasted nuts you get on the side of the road in New York City. I love them. I think I'm getting a note of very mild cherryness, which I like here. Not overpowering, not making it like unbeer-like. It's very beer-like. Yeah, I mean, I kind of saved this for last because I remembered liking Bell's Scotch Ale in general. I really like this. Traditional Scotch Ale is rich and malty. I would say that's true. Caramel. Yeah, okay, I can say that. Certain to make any occasion festive, or at least a bit more bearable. It's kind of the beer I would want around the fire. It's the beer I would want as an accompaniment to my pie or to my figgy pudding, if I so deign to make one this year. We're American, it's optional, but I guess in the UK it's a requirement. 13. That was all 13 Christmas beers that they had at my liquor store. I had a lot of fun tasting these. Here are my 3 faves. The Christmas Ale. I hope the holidays are treating you well. I hope that you are staying warm and that the winter is mild, or that the winter is whatever it is you like your winter to be. Anyway, see you guys next time on another episode of How to Drink. Until then, cheers.